Blewett School of Law here at the University of Montana. Welcome to the 2019 Blewett School of Law commencement ceremony. Let's begin with a round of applause. A round of applause for Rob Lang, Rob Lynn, and Jeff McMillian of the Celtic Dragon Pipe Band. Not quite 3 years ago, I welcomed today's graduates. They entered the School of Law as students for the first time. They were given an oath, and then they went through a week of orientation. My guess is they probably remember very little of that week of orientation, but that doesn't mean it wasn't important. It set them on a path that led to this point. Along the way, they learned to read and brief cases. They wrote and rewrote papers for Professors Howell and Wandler. They tried cases. They negotiated contracts, competed successfully in moot court, mock trial, and negotiation competitions. They advocated for their fellow students as members of the Student Bar Association. They worked on the Montana Law Review and the Public Lands and Resources Law Review. They represented real people, real clients with real problems. In clinic, they laughed at their professors at the smoker, and they made friends that they will have for the rest of their lives. And somewhere along the way, they were transformed. They stopped being law students and became lawyers. I'm pleased now to introduce the members of our stage party. If everyone would stand and hold their applause till we have acknowledged everyone. On my far left, Professor Sally Weaver, our Associate Dean of Students. Professor Andrew Kingrace, who will be our faculty reader today. President of the University of Montana, Seth Bodner. Bob Carlson, President of the American Bar Association and our commencement speaker today. And Emmanuel, our registrar. And I'd like to also thank Our law school sits on the traditional territory of the Kalispel and Salish people. Article 10 of the Montana Constitution recognizes the distinct and unique cultural heritage of American Indians and commits institutions like ours to educate with the goal of preserving their cultural identity. And we have a long tradition of honoring that obligation, including the oldest Indian law clinic in the country. We take those responsibilities very seriously. It's not unusual for us to have a student who is the first member of their tribe to go to law school. This might be a first this year, though, in that one of our graduates is a member of a tribe from a foreign country. Our graduate, Richard Asong, is a member of the Bangwa tribe from Cameroon, and his tribal chief, Ndi Kamasong Amin, is here with us today to celebrate this special day with him. In recognition of the importance of tribal culture and tribal nations here in Montana, every graduation is featured a drum group performing an honor song to recognize the accomplishments of the graduating class. Today, Benjamin and DJ Headswift will sing an honor song. Please stand if you're able and remove your hats. remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Now I'd like to introduce Professor Sally Weaver, Associate Dean of Students, to announce the Student Graduation Awards.
Good morning. From the beginning of their journey in the autumn of 2019 until now, each member of the class of 2019 has explored the ever-forward movement of the law with the utmost intellectual curiosity and hard work, and in doing so has demonstrated integrity of character and a commitment to compassionate service. To the class of 2019, I express our utmost gratitude. This law school and our community are better because of your presence here. It is my honor to share with you today the names of those in the class of 2019 who've exemplified these characteristics which imbue the terms counselor and advocate with the noblest of purpose and intentions. As I read the names of the award recipients, I ask each recipient to stand. The John P. Aker Award to recognize outstanding achievement. Jennifer Peprock Shannon. The Emmett C. Anglin Award for demonstrated conviction and concern in the rendition of legal services. Jacqueline Ruth Banata. The J. Martin Burke Award for demonstration of dedication and excellence in completing the clinical internship. Zachary Allen Hickson. And Brielle Landy. Clinical Legal Education Outstanding Student Award for excellence in field work and excellence in the seminar component of the clinic. Craig McCormick. The Edward A. Kramer Award for the best research paper in the field of environmental law. Peter B. Taylor. The Dean's Award for recognition of student leadership. Summer Carmack. The Fran Elgie Award for recognition of demonstrated commitment to human equality. Katie Zimmerman. The William S. Frost and Maylin Smith Award to acknowledge a strong commitment to and enthusiasm for protecting and enhancing the rights of Indian peoples and tribes. Sabrina K. Curry. And Naomi Whitehead. The Norman Hansen Legal Writing Award for the Best Appellate Brief in Appellate Advocacy, Sydney Elizabeth Best. International Academy of Trial Lawyers Student Advocacy Award for students who demonstrate an overall ability in trial advocacy by high achievement in trial practice, evidence, and pleading and procedure courses. William Terrence Casey III. And Caitlin Catherine Creighton. The Justin Miller Award for Outstanding Leadership of the Montana Law Review, Kiersey Elizabeth Luther. And Victoria Nickel. The Carol Mitchell Award for demonstrated excellence in the study and practice of alternative dispute resolution, Nancy Clark. And Jasmine Morton. The Order of Barristers for outstanding achievement in appellate advocacy, Nathan Burke. Lowell Jack Chandler. Ashton Jackson. Kiersey Elizabeth Luther. Aaron M. Lenz. Rebecca Newsom. And Calder Fingal. The Outstanding Law Student Award, awarded by the Student Bar Association, Lowell Jack Chandler. And Christine Marie Hutchison. The Growth Mindset Award, to recognize significant growth in competence in a clinical law placement, Jacob Monaco Trujillo. The Exceptional Pro Bono Legal Services Award, to recognize exceptional volunteer legal services as a law student, Jacqueline Ruth Venata. Please join me in congratulating our award winners and the entire class of 2019.
As we celebrate today the accomplishments of our graduates, I'd also like to acknowledge some of the individuals that have helped guide them on the path to success that they have achieved today. The faculty and staff of the Blewett School of Law have all been instrumental in transforming the students that you entrusted to us 3 years ago into the graduates that you see before you. You'll notice in your program our faculty and staff awards this year. These awards recognize just a handful of the people who make this such an extraordinary law school. Would the faculty and staff of the School of Law please stand and be recognized? This year's graduating class has selected Zach Hickson to deliver the student address. It is my pleasure to introduce Zach, candidate for the degree of Juris Doctor.
President Bodnar, President Carlson, Dean Kurgis, faculty, staff, family, friends, and the tens or maybe even hundreds of viewers watching via live stream. Thank you for celebrating this day with us. More than that, thank you for putting up with us for 3 years. Law school isn't quite the easiest thing in the world, and we couldn't have done it without your support. So on behalf of the class of 2019, family, friends, faculty, and staff, thank you for providing love and support, spending your days teaching us, listening to us, complain about every exam, and overall, just having our backs. Thank you. To my classmates of 2019, so why are we here? 3 years ago, we started on a journey to complete the thing we call law school. And here we are, a little older, a little wiser, probably a little grayer, if you still have hair. And along this journey, we've learned countless rules, doctrines, applications, procedures, and skills. Fortunately or unfortunately, this thing called law school was just a blip on the radar. We spent 3 years, but we likely have 20, 30, or maybe even 40 more years to go. So instead of spending the next 10 minutes focusing on what we learned the past 3 years, or pretending what you're going to do the next 30, I'm going to highlight 3 points that you probably already do, but I'd invite you to remember as we become lawyers. Now, I warn you, these 3 points are squishy. There probably isn't a right answer or a wrong answer. You might ask, will these points apply in every situation? I had to fit this phrase in somewhere, but I'll give you the classic, it depends. Point number 1, and probably most importantly, remember to cultivate your relationships. Cultivate your relationships. Relationships come in many different forms, but a mainstay is family. Don't forget about the calls or texts of the mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, sisters, brothers, aunts, and uncles. Don't forget about the family anniversaries or the birthdays. And don't forget about those little kiddos who have grown up idolizing you. Luckily, this class doesn't really need a reminder on families. We've seen the investment our classmates have made. Our classmates that drove, flew, or hitchhiked to Great Falls, Livingston, Emigrant, Colorado, Salt Lake City to see your families. Our classmates that call their 90-plus-year-old grandma to hear stories like how she cleverly used her age to secure Hamilton Broadway tickets. Our classmates that are, or are about to be in a few days, devoted fathers and mothers. Our classmates that spent the incalculable number of hours chatting with their significant other just to see how it's going. Or our classmates that took their kids to dance, ski team, soccer, softball, ice hockey, and parent-teacher conferences when they only had 4 hours left on a paper. Remember to keep cultivating your family relationships. The next group we shouldn't forget is our non-lawyer friends. These are the people that ground us and tell us when we're being pedantic, pompous, pretentious. It's kind of ironic. These non-law friends add life and reality to our legally trained brains. Keep cultivating relationships with your non-lawyer friends. And finally, keep cultivating those lawyer relationships, chiefly to protect our families and friends from sentences that start with, I believe the constitutional underpinnings are, but also importantly, this professional group will be your sounding board for legal questions and overall support as we move forward. So remember, keep cultivating those relationships that add value and meaning to your life. Point number 2, Remember to recognize and appreciate those people and acts that are often overlooked. In a few minutes, we're about to be lawyers. Big, bad, strong. In a few years, simply hear the names like Wagner or McQuillan will probably strike fear into our minds. People will treat you differently now that you're a lawyer. But we need to continue to treat everyone with respect and not let our egos get the best of us. Remember to recognize and appreciate those small, unnoticed acts that make the difference. Recognize and appreciate when a family member packs you a lunch. Recognize and appreciate when your buddy notices you're having a bad week and takes you for a beer. And recognize and appreciate when someone washes and folds all your clothes. Remember to recognize and appreciate those people who are constantly overlooked. Recognize and appreciate the paralegal that stays late to get you prepped for the next day. Recognize and appreciate the receptionist that day in and day out deals with the angry phone calls so you don't have to. Recognize and appreciate the janitor who makes sure the conference room sparkles for the big client meeting. Recognize and appreciate the introvert or the soft-spoken colleague that may not be the loudest, but is brilliant. And always recognize and appreciate your family and friends. As lawyers, we're standing on the shoulders of an amazing support team. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I thought it might be good to appreciate and recognize a few acts that perhaps went unnoticed. By all objective measures, the class of 2019 competition teams destroyed. Nelson Moot Court won Best Brief. National Moot Court swept the top honors with Best Brief and Best Oralist. Environmental Law Group got Best Brief and Best Oralist. The negotiations team took third place at Nationals. Pretty cool. But perhaps you didn't notice when one of our trial team members received Best Advocate 8 out of 12 times. Or perhaps you didn't notice when an anonymous donor sent the entire negotiations team to Nationals. Perhaps you didn't notice the professors, judges, lawyers in the community that generously borrowed their time away from their families to help in trial advocacy, trial team, negotiations, moot court, or class videos. Outside the competition teams, what about those simple acts that you, the class of 2019, did for each other? I'm sorry, I'm really going to laugh on this one. Like one of our classmates with a food allergy shared her entire suitcase full of food with her roommate on the China program. Like when one of our classmates picked up all the recycling throughout the entire law school for 2 years. Like one of our classmates stayed after the smoker last year and mopped all your guys' beer. Like when many of our classmates just throw a dinner party, just because. And when many of our classmates would pressure each other to come out to intramural sports so that we would exercise at least once in 3 years. Like when 3 of our classmates spearheaded the smoker committee and made sure that we produced quality material every single year. Or when one of our classmates was the most involved, brightest, caring, thoughtful, and frankly, just the best SBA president and friend the school has ever had. That's Summer Carmack, if you didn't know. Take time to recognize and appreciate those unnoticed people or overlooked small acts of others that end up making a big difference in your day. Why do you ask? Well, first, it's the right thing to do. But second, when push comes to shove, those are the people that are going to have your back. Point number 3, the final point, keep your grit. Grit can mean a lot of things. Behavioral scientist Angela Duckworth says grit is passion and perseverance towards long-term goals. Passion is an intense driving towards something. Perseverance contains an element of mental toughness, but it's a dedication towards something despite the difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. Hate to break the bad news, guys, but we're going to fail. And we're going to fail a bunch going forward. But I'm really not worried. All of you have grit, and I know that because you are all here today. You all have passion. Perhaps some of you didn't have passion for law school, but maybe you have passion for something in the future. Maybe that's more income for your family, a certain environmental cause, a certain company, or the lifelong pursuit of the intellectual challenges that come with lawyering. Keep pushing towards your passion. And you all persevered. You are all mentally tough, whether on your own or with your support teams, but you overcame all those obstacles and are here today. Remember those first 3 required words of law school? Darkest before dawn. The title really resonated with me. That's about all that resonated with me, but regardless, when we fail, assess the situation, ask for help, get support, but above all, keep being gritty because the sun is eventually going to come up. So, class of 2019, continue to invest in your relationships, continue to recognize and appreciate those overlooked people and acts, and if you do those 2 things, then we'll have a foundation. And that foundation enables us to pursue our passions and to overcome those obstacles and setbacks when they arise. Congratulations to the class of 2019. I've been proud and thankful to be such a part of such an amazing group.
And now I have the great pleasure of introducing our commencement speaker today, the President of the American Bar Association, Bob Carlson. Bob earned his bachelor's degree from the University of Montana in 1976 and his Juris Doctor from this law school in 1979. A Butte native, he has spent the bulk of his career practicing with his hometown law firm of Corrett, Black, Carlson, and Mickelson. He's held virtually every position a person can hold in the American Bar Association, as well as serving as president of the Montana State Bar. He's just the 2nd Montanan ever to hold the position of president of the ABA, following former federal judge William Jamison in 1953 to 1954. Serving as ABA president is more than a full-time job in itself. Bob and his wife Cindy have literally traveled the world, representing not just the 400,000 members of the ABA, but also representing the entire American legal system with its bedrock commitments to the rule of law and to an independent judiciary. Because of the time commitments that are involved in being ABA president, most ABA presidents come from large multinational law firms that have the resources to free up a partner to spend a year or more traveling the world instead of doing paid legal work. Bob is very, very rare in that he's a president of the ABA from a small law firm, in a small city, in a small state. He represents the many, many lawyers, the majority of lawyers in this country who are not working for big multinational law firms, but are doing the day-to-day legal work that helps citizens protect their rights, provide for their families, and ensure that their children are provided for in the future. We're indebted to him for his tireless efforts on behalf of those lawyers and the legal profession, and we couldn't be more proud to have here with us Montana's own Bob Carlson, President of the American Bar Association.
Thank you, Dean Curtis. I appreciate those remarks. I've been introduced a couple of times over the past year, and every time I hear a story, I think to myself, maybe I could just sneak out the side. and then they wouldn't really find out that, what I have to say. But as the dean mentioned, it was almost 40 years ago, precisely June 10th, 1979, that I too was a new graduate of this law school. I was the first in my family to attend law school or to even receive an advanced degree. And I'm going to depart for just a half a second here because 6 months, not quite to the day later, Cindy came into my life. And words can't begin to describe the amount of love and gratitude that I feel for her for being such a huge part of this remarkable journey that became not just a career in law, but also led me to this stage today. So thank you, Cindy, for all that you do and that you've done. Sitting where you are today, it never occurred to me that 40 years later, I would return to this stage to give the commencement address as the president of the American Bar Association. 40 years ago, I wasn't thinking about how grateful I'd eventually be for all the mentors, colleagues, and friends over these 4 decades who, in ways big and small, would encourage me and open my eyes to the possibility of pursuing a career of leadership in our great and essential profession. Thanks to so many individuals from Butte, from across Montana, from throughout the United States, and even abroad, my involvement in the organized bar has made me a much better lawyer than I otherwise would have been, and more importantly, a much better person. My involvement in the organized bar produced endless professional and personal rewards, including the honor and joy of sharing this special time with all of you, our graduates, the faculty, staff, family, friends, and other supporters who are here to celebrate the outstanding class of 2019. My wish for you as graduates of this law school is that your path in the law is similarly rewarding, that you see your journey not just as a career, but as a calling to pursue equal justice for all. As Dean Curtis mentioned, the first and only other Montanan to serve in the role of ABA president was William J. Jameson. He served from 1953 to 1954. And about in the same time in his term as I am in mine, I was born. So 65 years ago, last Wednesday, Judge Jameson was serving the people and the lawyers of this country, and I was just starting on the journey of life. Judge Jameson served in the Montana legislature. He was named to the federal bench shortly after serving his term as ABA president, and of course, the law library here bears his name. As ABA president, Judge Jameson in 1954 presided over the dedication of the ABA's new headquarters in Chicago. And he received a special message of greeting and congratulations from then President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And I'd like to share a part of that message with you, a message that was written during the height of the Cold War, on the heels of the landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision, and during the early struggles for post-World War II civil rights. I want to share it with you because I believe to this day it encapsulates our eternal challenges and our never-ending call to action as an association and as lawyers in a profession that your education has equipped you to pursue. President Eisenhower wrote, "The American Bar Association has profoundly influenced legal thinking and legislation in this country. It has sought to protect our people against unethical practices and to bring about a better administration of justice. Now, in a world in which men's minds are flooded with propaganda, distortion of truth, and demagoguery, your organization faces a new and truly awesome responsibility. For it is imperative you never cease your efforts until all people of the world know the sense of fact, the sense of evidence, and the sense of reason which lead to human justice and a secure freedom for all. I send you my earnest hope for your heroic success in this great task. So how can you honor this call to action in 2019 and beyond? First, you have a great head start in the profession because most, if not all of you, are members of the American Bar Association. I hope your membership in the ABA as a law student will start you on a lifelong habit of belonging to and being involved with our national community of lawyers who stand together for justice, whether you end up practicing in a large metropolitan area, a small town in Montana, or in other states like Wyoming, Idaho, or North Dakota, in what we call the Jackrabbit Bar Conference, where it said that jackrabbits outnumber lawyers. We want you to belong and contribute your voice for the profession, whether you practice in a large city firm, a small firm like mine in Butte, a government agency, in a county attorney's office, a public defender's office, a corporation, a legal aid office, or for a public interest group, or really what other endeavor that leverages your interests and talents. How else can you honor our profession's call to action? Based on my humble experience, it's to just say yes. Say yes to service. When a mentor or colleague asks you to join them in a bar or public service initiative, just say yes. In 1987, Bob Corrett, a senior partner in our law firm, came into my office and suggested that I run for the State Bar Board of Trustees. Bob had been president of the State Bar and had gone back on the board, and he thought it was time for a younger person to succeed him. I said yes to running for that position. Shortly after he left my office, I looked up what was involved in what I had just said yes to. I was elected. 3 years later, I was asked to serve by the other officers of the board as the chair of the board. I said yes. And in 1993, I became president of the State Bar of Montana. My service as an officer of the State Bar got me involved on this path to leadership in the American Bar Association. But thinking back to that conversation with Bob Corrett, there was no thought in my mind that I would become president of the State Bar, let alone the American Bar Association. I did not know then that this one conversation would lead to so many other conversations and opportunities that ultimately bring me to this spot today. My wish for you is that you too will be open to the possibilities and impact that a simple yes will have on your lives. The training and skills you receive from this school make you uniquely qualified to make a difference in the lives of so many people. Membership and service in your state and local bar is important, as is membership and service in the ABA. That's because the ABA is a critical element of the American fabric and an essential part of the lives and livelihoods of every single lawyer every single day, whether it's through our adoption of model rules of professional conduct, our accreditation of law schools, our advocacy before governmental bodies, and so many other aspects of the legal profession and justice system. Through endeavors that only the ABA carries out, we represent lawyers well beyond our more than 400,000 members. If you consider all the lawyers who belong to the multitude of bar associations and other organizations that send representatives to our policy-making House of Delegates, the ABA speaks for and on behalf of more than 1 million lawyers in this country. The ABA's voice for the profession is an undeniable and indispensable part of America's culture of justice. Its democratic representative structure, embodying the best of diverse and inclusive institutions, ensures that our policies are not rooted in partisan politics, not a narrow political ideology, but in the values that lawyers across America share. We stand for professional excellence, for equal justice, for due process, and for our liberties protected by the rule of law. We as lawyers stand united in the understanding that our justice system does not function properly when vulnerable people who are poor are forced to appear in court without a lawyer. This is why legal aid and pro bono are so critical and worthy of our enthusiastic and active support. No other profession is so committed to ensuring that everyone, regardless of means, has access to its services. The ABA has long focused considerable efforts and resources on promoting pro bono, encouraging funding for legal services, and underscoring the critical need and our constitutional requirement for a robust public defender system. As lawyers, it is also our duty to support the nation's dedicated judges and justices when public officials use their bully pulpit not to offer reasoned disagreements with court decisions, but to cast doubt on the judiciary's professionalism. At the same time, the ABA's nonpartisan evaluations of the professional qualifications of federal judicial nominees contributes immensely to our voice for fair and impartial justice. We stand up not only to preserve America's rule of law and the credibility of our justice system, we also stand up to maintain our credibility with developing nations that routinely look to the ABA and the United States lawyers for guidance on issues of law. And with Law Day in May every year, we provide leadership opportunities for public education about the law and legal system. Our democracy is made stronger by the ABA's commitment to values that unite us as lawyers: a vibrant and independent profession, a fair, diverse, and impartial judiciary, a diverse and inclusive justice system that reflects the society we serve and the communities where we live, and a passion for access to justice and the rule of law. We will also, along with other organized bars and law school, continue to contribute our leadership to a matter of life and death for our colleagues and loved ones: lawyer well-being and lawyer wellness. The ABA is partnering with others to raise the awareness of and also reduce the stigma of depression, anxiety, and other mental illness in our profession, and of encouraging and supporting lawyers and law students as they need and seek help, whether it be for substance addiction or mental health issues. These issues have taken an unbearable toll on our profession and on our communities. We must continue to act. We need to work together and stick with this movement as long as it takes to save the lives of those we care about and work to make our profession and our communities healthier. As we aspire to be the best lawyers we can be, we are practicing in an age when the profile of lawyers in America and around the world is improving. Law school applications are slowly increasing, and last year the Merriam-Webster word of the year was justice. And at the same time, many Americans of all political stripes believe our national values face historic threats. We do face challenges as a nation. At times it seems that compromise is beyond reach, and our great experiment in democracy could falter. I submit to you that the powerful institutions of our democracy have helped us weather political scandal and extremism that have tested the central philosophies and traditions of America's society. But in the end, the rule of law has prevailed. Our system of checks and balances held. When some checks failed to work, others ensured that our democracy was protected. Our institutions are strong, but they are not invincible. They require the support and protection of each and every one of us to endure. They need our involvement, and they need our leadership. Whatever the storms around us, we must always demonstrate civility, maintain our dignity, and encourage respect for institutions of law and values of justice. The world is watching us, and it is our professional duty to deliver on that promise. So, class of 2019, we need your talents. We need your commitment. We need your leadership. We need to see yourselves as part of a bigger picture of justice for all, a path that has been so rewarding for so many who have preceded you. 40 years ago, I was one of you. Hopefully, it will take less than 40 years for one of you to be up here as ABA president, speaking to another outstanding graduating class of this law school about service and equal justice for all. Congratulations to you and your families, and best wishes to each of you in the future. Thank you very much.
I was speaking with Bob last night about his many travels, and he related how everywhere he goes, he's given gifts. And of course, when he's overseas, he makes a point to travel with only a carry-on, and so he always prays for small gifts. Well, we don't necessarily have a small gift, but I hope we have one that will serve him in a capacity that he and Cindy can use back home in Butte, where I hear it gets a little cold. So, Bob, we have a Glacier Park Pendleton blanket for you and Cindy. So, you're welcome. Now, will the first row of candidates for the professional degree of Juris Doctor please rise? And I will welcome Professor Andrew King-Reese, this year's student-elected reader, to the lectern to read the names of the graduates, and I'll invite the stage party to join me in congratulating the graduates as they're here.
Kasem Walid Abdul Baki. Richard Assong. Aaron Philip Barker with a certificate in alternative dispute resolution. Jeffrey Keith Bass. Sydney Elizabeth Best with high honors. Bradley W. Bowen. Bryce Anthony Burke with honors. Nathan Burke. Summer Carmack with a certificate in American Indian Law. William Terrence Casey III with honors. Lowell Jack Chandler with honors and certificates in Natural Resources and Environmental Law and Natural Resources Conflict Resolution. Nancy Clark with honors. Caitlin Catherine Creighton. Webster Christ. Sabrina K. Curry with a certificate in American Indian Law. Daniel Joseph Aiken with certificates in American Indian Law and Natural Resources and Environmental Law. Abby Christine Eckstein. Megan Jo Eckstein. Haley Forcella. Haley M. Ford with high honors. Patricia Danielle Gornick. Stephanie Ann Grover. Rebecca Hall. Spencer Russell Harris. Madeline Dominique Hatfield. Ryan Hickey. Zachary Allen Hickson. Christine Marie Hutchison with honors. Ashton Jackson with certificates in American Indian Law, Natural Resources and Environmental Law, and Natural Resources Conflict Resolution. Grant Robert Kelly. Molly Kelly with honors. Caden Quito. Brielle Nicole Landy. Lauren Michelle Lawrence. Kiersey Elizabeth Luther with honors. Aaron M. Linz. Craig McCormick. Thomas Sean McQuillan. Emily Margaret Medlin. Ray Morgan. Tyler James Daniel Morgan. Jasmine Morton with honors and a certificate in alternative dispute resolution. Rebecca Newsom. Victoria Nickel with high honors. Logan Nutzman. Caitlin Grace Paget. Tyson Parman. Kelsey Lynn Peltoma. Allison Potts. Anna Marie Reed. Molly Ricketts. Jennifer Peprock Shannon with high honors. Melissa Stone Smith. Elizabeth Rozier Story. Rebecca Stursberg with honors. Peter B. Taylor. Calder Thingvold with honors. Jacob Monaco Trujillo. Jacqueline Ruth Venata with pro bono honors for completing at least 150 hours of pro bono service during her law school career. Lucas Craig Wagner with honors and pro bono honors for completing 150 hours of pro bono service during his legal career. Naomi M. Whitehead with a certificate in American Indian Law. Caitlin Elizabeth Whitfield. Richard Williamson. Oliver Wood with a certificate in Natural Resources Conflict Resolution. Molly Woodman. Madison Worst. Katie Zimmerman, Esquire, with honors.
Will the class of 2019 please rise? Okay, hold on. There's one more step. They're not quite graduates yet. President Bodner, on behalf of the faculty of the Alexander Blewett III School of Law at the University of Montana, I'm pleased to present these candidates for the Juris Doctor degree.
Thank you, Dean Kurgis. And to our graduates, on behalf of the entire University of Montana family, our students, faculty, and staff from every college across this university, I want to offer my heartfelt congratulations. I want to reiterate the thank you to the friends and family members in this audience today. We all know that nothing of significance is achieved by a single person. And I want to acknowledge and again thank the team that made these graduates so successful and enabled them to stand here today. And finally, many of you know that at commencement ceremonies, I will always emphasize the ethic of service that sits at the heart of the University of Montana's mission. And I think that message is especially poignant today. We began today's ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, with the Pledge of Allegiance, as the saying goes, and to the republic for which it stands. That republic stands on a foundation of the rule of law. And as President Carlson so eloquently stated, while our foundations are strong, their success and their continued strength is not inevitable. It takes the dedication of professionals committed to the rule of law. And today you are entering the profession of law, and you are entering a noble, noble profession with a fundamental importance to the continued strength of this republic. And in addition to congratulating you, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking on that important role of service. We are proud of you, and we can't wait to see what this class will achieve. And so finally, it is with excitement, and it is by the virtue of the authority of the Regents of the Montana University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, that I confer the Juris Doctor degrees upon those of you who have successfully completed all the requirements. Let us now recognize these successful candidates.
Please be seated. Graduates, you began your law school career by taking an oath. I'd like to read that oath to you again today. Here's what you committed to when you started law school. Today, I begin my professional legal career as a member of the Alexander Blewett III School of Law community. As a student, I pledge to seek knowledge and understanding of the law and the role of the law and lawyers in society. I pledge to strive to develop the professional skills, the character, the values necessary to fulfill the role of lawyer. I understand that as a lawyer I will be a representative of clients, an officer of the legal system, and a public citizen with special responsibility for the quality of justice. As a student and as a lawyer, I pledge to pursue the truth, to promote justice, and to uphold the principles of honesty, integrity, and civility. That's what you pledged to do. That's what you did. That's who you are. Congratulations. Please join us after the ceremony for a brunch back at the law school.